because it's Dior. The best time to buy it is now. Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is so lovely to have you here today. If you are new, my name is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome back if you've watched my channel before. So today's video is basically going to be a review of probably my favourite designer bag that I have. So I actually haven't discussed my... Sorry, that was my tummy if you heard that. I actually haven't discussed my love or obsession with designer bags much on this channel, but I have done a couple of unboxings, so it is time to confess. I absolutely love designer bags. I do love other designer items, but bags are definitely my main thing. So I've slowly been building up my collection for, I think, gosh, could be like 14 years or something now. And I think when I finally purchased this bag that I'm going to discuss today, it was just like a monumental moment. It is the most I've ever spent on the bag. It was, I think, the most nervous I've ever been buying a bag. But it's also one of my, it's just, like, this bag doesn't even sit with my other bags. It's kind of separate. I keep it in its box. I do keep my other bags in their dust bags, some in their boxes, but this one I'm really precious about it, obviously, because it's Dior. So I'm not going to talk on too long because I know, like, often if you watch these videos you kind of just want to see the bag. So in this little box here I have my mini Lady Dior in Lotus Pink. So what I'll do is I'll pop it out the box and then I'm going to basically just have a bit of a general chat all about the bag. So like I said, I keep her in the box and she's in this little dust bag like this, and I'm going to just quickly show you what else came with the bag, because there is this kind of booklet, but I've actually never opened it, so I don't even know what's in there, but that came with the bag. And then you've obviously got like the Dior tissue. I think that's just receipts that are in there, but again, I haven't actually opened it. A gorgeous Dior ribbon, but that's not what we're here to discuss. So just to let you know, that's all that, you know, is with the bag. And then here is the bag in the little dust bag, so you can see it there. So here we go. I will point out she has a ribbon, a twilly around the handle, but I will remove it later on in the video. Okay, here we go. I mean, every time I look at this bag, I just... Oh my goodness, it is a work of art, is it not? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to move on and start talking a little bit about the bag here. So like I said, this is in Lotus Pink, and I checked on the website this morning. This colour is still available because I actually wondered whether it had sold out because it was older season, but I actually purchased this. Now, I think it was 2019. So I've maybe had it for about a year and a half. So it's Lotus Pink, which has a very kind of subtle, slight shimmer to it, which I think you'll be able to see there. So I think some of the other Lady Dior colours don't have this almost slight sort of metallic edge to the bag. So I thought this was maybe quite a good video to do if you are considering a mini Lady Dior, or even if you're considering this exact colour, because this is going to give you an idea of what it looks like. So I'll talk through some of the features of the bag. Obviously you've got the gorgeous quilting, which I think that's what just made me absolutely fall in love with this bag, was just that it's just so feminine, it's so luxurious looking, it really is stunning. So you've got the quilting, then you have the little Dior here, which sits, and there actually is a little cover that goes over this as well. However, the drawstring on mine, it actually doesn't tighten anymore, so I kind of just leave it as it is. Maybe that's not the best practice, but the drawstring doesn't close over it. I don't know what I did. I think I pulled the string or something. I'm sorry. I do honestly take good care of this bag though. So you've got that little bit there, and that kind of just rests on this little leather, I guess kind of, it's not really a pillow because it's quite flat. And on the back that actually says Christian Dior as well. I'll do a little separate close-up so you can see. And then I will discuss the hardware, because the hardware on this bag is described as champagne, I believe. So it's kind of like a cross between silver and gold, which I really, really liked, because I do genuinely prefer gold hardware on all bags. However, I think this is a really good in between because it means whatever colours you're wearing you can tie in with it. So that's the hardware. And oh, this noise. Do you know, I actually read or watched a review that said that this is one way that you could ever really tell a fake is because of this noise is like signature to Dior, and a fake would obviously just not be able to recreate that even if it looked, you know, physically the same. So anything else I want to say sort of physically about the bag? I'll mention the dimensions. The bag itself is 17 centimeters along the bottom, and then I think it's 15 down the side and then 7 this way. So it's a decent size in terms of how small it is, if that makes sense. So I will also show you the strap that comes with this bag. So I keep it inside the bag at the minute. I do use the strap, but I haven't maybe used it that much. So this is the strap here, which is absolutely stunning itself. It's again that sort of champagne hardware, and then you have this part up at the top. I mean, it's perfection really. And I'll show you, these are absolutely amazing as well. The little kind of clips with the CD on them. Let me get that to focus. Hopefully that is kind of being shown there. It's kind of hard to tell. So I've decided I'm not going to put the strap on just yet, as I thought I could talk a little bit more about the bag before I take the scarf off, and then I will show it to you crossbody length and with the strap on and the different ways you could carry it. So I thought I would just explain for a few moments the reasons that I decided to go for this bag, what led me to this point, and just a bit more about why I do love this bag so much. So I think first of all, the colour I think is just so beautifully feminine. I love, love, love this soft kind of pink colour. And I will say I had a really difficult decision when I was finally at the point where I was knowing I was going for it. I was stuck between the Lotus pink and, let me just check the name of the other colour because it's a blue colour, but I want to just check the exact name of it. So it's called Opaline Grey. And I'll include pictures of it here which you can look at for reference if you are stuck between the two, because I think they're kind of the same sort of range. There's a slight metallic colour going on to the bags, and I was really, really stuck between them. I honestly was back and forth. I was asking, you know, Jack for his opinion, I was asking my sister, I was asking my friends. I really was going back and forth, and I kept thinking, like, I already have so many pink bags and pink stuff. Do I really need more pink? But then I also thought, the grey looked absolutely amazing in some lightings. It looked very like a very pale blue, but also in some lightings it looked quite dark. So and I do think the same of this bag. I think some lightings it almost looks kind of lilac, others it can look not necessarily white, but like really, really, really pale. And I think that's just the way the light reflects off it, because it does have this slightly iridescent kind of look to it. So it really did take me a long time to decide between them. And I will just share this because I was really lucky. When I was looking at the bag, it was quite a bit cheaper than what's on the website. I will just say that because I checked this morning and I cannot believe the price that it now is. But one of the reasons that I just really was like, I'm going for this, was I was in contact with a Dior in Manchester. So we don't have a Dior in Scotland at all. And the sales assistant that I was dealing with was really, really helpful. She kept sending me pictures, although it was typical they never had both colours in the shop at the same time. So I never was able to compare the bags side by side, which is what I really wanted to do. I did see them both in person, but at different times. So basically I was in contact with her and she messaged me to say that there was going to be a price increase literally the next day, but I'd already paid a deposit for one of the bags. I just hadn't decided which one. And she was like, because you've paid that deposit, we are willing to like honour this price, even though it literally was going up, I think, the next morning. And it jumped up, I think it was about £250. So I was so, so lucky. And that was also that just made me think, okay, it's now or never. If you don't get this bag now, and you still want it in the future, then you're going to have to pay the increased price. But I think that was maybe 2 or 3 price increases ago that I managed to purchase the bag. So that's a little bit of a story about when I did purchase it. I'll mention the scarf a little bit as well, because I think this is one thing to definitely note about the Lady Dior bags is the handle is definitely something to be aware of, particularly if you like to carry your bag like a top handle, which I really love to do. Obviously, it's very, very soft leather. It's very, very pale, and they did explain to me you want to be careful of the handle because it can get marked so easily, and also worn if you're carrying it this way. You definitely just want to take that into consideration. So that is one reason I do have the scarf on it at the minute. Also, I just really love the little touch of around the handle, and I think you can also really change up the way the bag is styled with the scarf. So I'm going to include a picture here when I was in Dior, and they actually put on a little kind of red and white twilly round the handle, and I love that as well. I thought you could really bring in some different colours, whereas this is fairly kind of neutral. It's all kind of the same at the minute, but I do love the scarf being on it, and you know, having like a little bow I think is so cute. So another thing that I love about this bag is the connection to Princess Diana. So I believe it was France's first lady who approached Christian Dior and asked for a suggestion of a bag that she could send to Princess Diana as, I guess, a gift, and it was the Lady Dior at that point that was chosen, although that's not what it was called. And I think it was a black version of the bag. It was given to Princess Diana, and I think, you know, she was seen carrying it a number of times, and it just became somewhat iconic and maybe something that Princess Diana was recognised for carrying. They renamed the bag, I think first of all it was Princess, and then eventually it became the Lady Dior, which is a really lovely honour to Lady Diana, and I just absolutely love that. I think it's just such a beautiful thing to have done, and named it kind of after her. So that's just another thing I thought was a really special thing about this bag. So I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I was going to mention specifically. I guess it would be good to do some pros and cons. I think if I start off with the pros, obviously it is just an absolutely incredible looking bag. I think you cannot question its beauty, really. Even my dad, who doesn't really care for handbags, was like, oh, it's a lovely bag. So I think it just looks so stunning if you are, you know, out for drinks and you've got it sat there on the table, which I should mention, the little studs you have at the bottom, these are amazing because you don't really need to worry so much about the bottom of your bag. So I think it's the look of the bag altogether. You can see the craftsmanship in it, you know, all this beautiful detailing. It's incredible, and I'm sure in the booklet it explains a bit more about the work that goes into the bag. Another pro, I would say, it's very versatile, particularly in this colour. It's a really soft, feminine, kind of girly colour that I think goes with so many other colours and outfits. Like, you could literally wear it with any colour pastel. You could wear it with black, you could wear it with cream, you could wear it with white. I really think you'd be struggling to find a colour that didn't go well with it because it's such a nice neutral colour. Maybe a couple of cons to mention, which I've already discussed, would be the handle. You have to be very careful of the handle because I even think things like makeup would transfer quite easily onto it. I think another thing to mention is you have to be really, really careful with this style of bag. The leather is so soft, it's so delicate, it's a really pale colour. Any kind of scratches or marks are going to show up. I'm hopeful that there are nothing of the sort on my bag yet, do I say, but I just know that colour transfer, you couldn't really wear this with jeans, like dark denim, because you'd just be too scared that it would rub against it, particularly if you're carrying it crossbody. So I think that's one thing. This is not a bag to be careless with, and I'm not saying we would ever be careless with any of our bags. However, I do think something like some of the darker Louis Vuitton canvas bags, they can definitely take a little bit more rough and tumble. Again, I'm not saying that you should do that with any bags, and I hopefully don't do it anymore, but I would say this is a bag that I really take care of, so I don't take it just anywhere. I really pick and choose what occasions I'm going to take this bag to. So for example, the places that I would preferably take it to is maybe like afternoon tea, where I just know I'm going to have like 1 or 2 glasses of champagne and my bag can sit beside me, and I know, you know, there will be a spare seat or there'll be space on the table. Or if you're in a really fancy restaurant, I have actually had them bring a little stool for my bag, which was just amazing. But for example, I would not take this bag on a girls' night out. I wouldn't take it if I was having more than like 2 drinks, I just wouldn't take it. If I was wearing fake tan, like instant fake tan, if I just knew that I was going to be drinking a lot, or I was going somewhere that maybe was a crowd, like, so I'm really, really careful about where I take this bag. So that's one thing to note. It depends how precious you're going to be about it, but obviously you've spent that money on a bag, you want to look after it. So I would say you definitely have to consider the occasions you would take this bag to. I took it once to a wedding, but only because we were staying at the hotel where the wedding was taking place, and I actually took the bag up to the room after the dinner part, because for the dancing and etc, and there was no way I was leaving it at the table. So that was ideal, but probably I wouldn't actually take it to a wedding, even though it could be gorgeous for you know, your wedding outfit, like going somewhere, but I just think it's too risky once all the drinks start flowing. So that's a con, I would say. Another con is maybe the size of the interior of the bag, which I know I haven't really mentioned too much up until now. So this is the inside of the bag. Let me just, so is there something? Oh, I have a little receipt in there. So that is the inside of the bag. For example, my phone fits in, just gonna wipe it. My phone fits in no problem. So I have the iPhone Plus, that does fit in no problem. If you slide it this way. It doesn't fit standing up, so it has to go like that. I think you could fit in a small camera, very small hairbrush, but apart from that, I do think you're struggling. You couldn't obviously get like a big makeup bag or a long hairbrush, or like only the little tangle teaser I think would fit in, and then I'm not even sure you'd want to put that in your bag, but so that's one thing to note, is the size. It's a small bag, but if you're considering the bags, I'm sure you'll know you can get them in a variety of sizes. So this is the mini, and then I think you can get, is there a small, medium, large maybe? I think this is the smallest size. So that gives you a rough idea. But I think that would only be the 2 cons I would mention. So what I think I'll do now is I'm going to pop on the strap. I will take off the scarf, although I'm a bit sad to do so because I'm not the best at putting them on. And then I will give you a couple of ideas of the ways you can carry the bag. So I've just come back now and I've got the strap on the bag, and I've put it the way that is on the Dior website, which is, so the little clip goes this side, the opposite, where you have the detailing here, and then the opposite side at the back. So that's kind of how you would carry it. So what I will do is a couple of shots standing up, just to give you an idea of how it would sit. Just to give you reference, my height is around about 5'7" or 5'8". So this the one thing I would say is the strap, there isn't really any way of shortening it or lengthening it, so it is just the one kind of length, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's on my shoulder. So hopefully you can see this okay, but this just gives you a rough idea of where the bag sits. So today, wearing these shorts, it's kind of literally at the bottom of these shorts, so it's kind of like really upper thigh, I would say, and that is with the strap fully like over my shoulder. But obviously you can carry the bag. I quite like the idea of carrying it like this as well. I think that's quite cute when you've got like a little sort of flash of gold from the chain or champagne, and you know, you can then opt to carry it on your shoulder if you wish. Obviously you could also do the crossbody, so I'm just gonna pop that on as well. So that is how the bag would sit on me crossbody. So it's kind of, I guess, just at my hip bone there. So I do think it looks really cute. This is just personally not the way I do tend to carry my bags. I much prefer just carrying it as a top handle, to be honest. So I'm gonna just pop off the strap again. So personally, this is how I would probably choose to carry the bag, with it sort of down here like this. So I'll just finish the video by holding the bag up like this without the scarf on, so you can have a really kind of good view of the whole bag together. The 2 handles, they do, if you kind of place them like that, they do stay up, because I think I heard that some people found it a bit frustrating that they don't stay up all the time, but they do if you just kind of place them together like that. Obviously it doesn't look great when they're like that, but they do stay up. So yeah, I think that's kind of me covered what I wanted to say. I really hope that I haven't, you know, missed out huge bits of information, because this is only my 3rd kind of video doing a kind of bag discussion, so hopefully it's gone okay, and I'm really sorry if there was things that I missed that you kind of wanted to hear about the bag, but please feel free to leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. But I do think if you're considering the Lady Dior, one thing I would say is, we know with Dior, Chanel, I guess Louis Vuitton, the other designers, the prices are only going up. So The best time to buy it is now. I feel so lucky to have bought it when I did, and even then at that point it felt like such a huge chunk of money, which of course it was. But I will say I'm just so glad that I did, because we know they're just going to keep going up a couple of hundred every, I don't know whether it's like half a year they kind of go up, but anyway, so that kind of brings me to the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope that you like the bag as well. Please leave me any comments. I'd love to know your opinion if you're considering this bag. Definitely ask me any questions about it if there's something I missed out in the video. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Wednesday for another video. Have a great week everyone, and I will see you then. Bye!